Tell me about the research process, of the yearbook, and especially how the first one came together in 2020. I mean, it's such a massive and sort of unprecedented undertaking. Had you done any other projects on this scale before? And did you have like research assistants, or did you personally comb through every profile and analysis yourself?
Well, the process was started 10 years ago when I started collecting just a spreadsheet of all the vendors, right? And so I could, get a feel for the space. And my goal was to get to the point where I could do a bottom-up market sizing analysis. Because, when Gartner or Forrester tells us how big the security industry is, they're just guessing, right?
Yeah.
Guessing. Mm-hmm. And I realized when they predicted, when I was at Gartner, we said the security industry was $2.5 billion industry. And that was big in the middle of 2000. And by 2013, Gartner was saying it was a $180 billion industry. But in the ensuing years, they never once predicted growth of more than 8% for the industry. If you do the reverse calculation, going from 2.5 to 180 in 10 years is 34% compound annual growth.
Wow.
So I knew that there's something going on here that the analyst firms aren't talking about. And even the Wall Street analysts should be aware of this as well. And I talk to Wall Street analysts and private equity a lot. And they get all excited about a company that, that they're saying, hey, we're looking at security and we see that, Checkpoint grew 6% last year. And that's so much better than the REITs and the oil and gas industry that we're totally in. And I'm going to hold on a second. The industry is growing at least 24%, possibly 34%. So Checkpoint is losing market share in the firewall space, and they have been for a decade. Mm-hmm. So keep that in mind. If you want to buy their debentures, fine. They'll be able to pay the interest on it, no problem. But if you're looking for tapping into the growth of the security industry, look for the companies like Palo Alto, Fortinet, Zscaler that are growing at 30 to 40% year over year. So, so even when I launched IT Harvest, the name of IT Harvest was I was going to harvest all the data and use it for my analysis, right?
Right.
And inspired by olive oil harvest that I went to that winter.
Okay.
The
detail there.
So I actually built a subscription service way back then, where you buy a subscription and get access to my data.
Gotcha.
Very, 3 marketers bought into it. And I just didn't see the appetite for that, but I kept my list and updated it pretty much every year, but it was a real effort. And let me tell you, going through the list, we always went through alphabetically and just to check to see if the company's still there and if they're still doing the same thing, if they've been acquired. You get to the S's and it just take a week to get through all the S's because that's most security companies are named security something, right?
Yeah, right.
And those cyber's catching up, CY, any CY beginning.
CY, yeah.
So anyways, by the time I realized I went to RSA 2019 and just bumped into so many people. I was signing the cloud transformation book and people were coming up and saying, yeah, my employer hired me 2 weeks ago and they sent me to this conference to learn about the industry. And I was thinking, this is the last place you want to go to learn about the industry. I need to write a book to tell people what's gone before.
There you go.
So I combined the two, right? I had to write the history of the industry, but then I also included the directory in the back.
Right.
And then how do you add to that every year? So it's truly a yearbook. And, if you bought Security Yearbook 2021, the current one, you would get all the content from 2020, except that the directory is completely updated. So,
gotcha.
Snapshot in time of all the vendors in the space last year. And then I added the delta in headcount for each vendor because I track that on a quarterly basis. So now you can immediately see if a vendor is growing or shrinking. That's pretty valuable information at first blush when you're doing vendor selection. And I've partnered with America's Growth Capital Partners to get all of the M&A activity each year. And CISA's agreed to let me publish all of the serious cyber breaches for the year. So it'll be a record of those. You can go back, what year was that? Whatever.
Wow.
OPM breach. And then all the fundings as well. So, and I capture that from Crunchbase.
Okay.
So, and you asked about, this is I do outsource the data gathering for headcount, for instance.
Okay.
And I outsource that to a team in India, and they can look at every single company and record the headcount in a day. So I don't know how they do that. They claim they're doing it by hand. So there must be 20 of them doing it.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so anyways, so I'm just adding to it every single year. This coming year will be the first time I have an in memoriam section where I have to, which I'm going to struggle with, but I have to write about all of the people we've lost in the previous year.
Yeah, for sure.
Just to give them some sort of record. So you can see I've got big plans for it, and it's something I can continue to do. And my goal is to make it, just something everybody in the industry has to have, right? And it's sitting on their desktop. Yeah. They refer to it as often as I do, because I use it for my own resource. And of course, I've got an advantage. I've got the original data sitting in front of me in a big database,
right?
Which I use constantly. So that's next phase. Will be republishing that as a subscription service. So, but things have changed in the last 15 years, so it should be easier to do.
I'm excited to announce that our Infosec Skills platform will be releasing a new challenge every month with 3 hands-on labs to put your cyber skills to the test. Each month, you'll build new skills ranging from secure coding to penetration testing to advanced persistent threats and everything in between. Plus, we're giving away more than $1,000 worth of prizes each month. Go to infosecinstitute.com/challenge and start your challenge right now.